My name is Travis Suit, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Mr. Joe Mitchell.
Hey,
on my left.
hey.
For those watching at home on Facebook video, and the one and only Blair McKnight.
Hello.
Ooh, hello. So, our other co-host, Liz Merson, is predisposed with something else going on, so she will not be joining us. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for that. So, this week, boy, we got a good one. We got some epicness on all fronts. So we are diving deep into how we expand our love and compassion beyond ourselves.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And so we've got some really cool things coming up. I'll give you a rundown. So we've got a couple really nice segments here put together. Where's Blair? And the Cup of Joe, which is catching on fast. Everybody's loving the Cup of Joe. You got some work to do, Blair. I'll just say.
Where am I?
I don't know where. So we've got a couple great segments coming up. Piper of the Piper's Angels Foundation will be calling in at 6:10. She's got a great story about a penguin you will not want to miss. And then later on in the hour at 6:30, we've got Plebe Sarah Sires, first company class 2021 U.S. Merchant Marines Academy at Kings Point, calling in with an epic story that we are excited to share. Well, I say we dive in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So who wants to kick it off today? Joe? Cup of Joe? Do we want to start with a Cup of Joe?
I don't know about that.
Or shall we be knighted?
Up to you. I'd love to be knighted.
Go for it.
Let's do
Let's
it.
dive deep.
All right. So, Where's Blair segment this week? I wanted to share something I thought you guys would be excited about. So, I told my boss about the radio show we're doing, and obviously very excited, very supportive, and she went to HR, and she had an idea for a Motivational Monday that we could start at work. So now, once a month at work, we're all going to get together in a group, and we're going to watch a motivational video together to start off the day. We're going to get some breakfast catered in, and just have some bonding time at work. So the epic love is already spreading, and this is, I work at Welltower, I'm in accounting, so this is at Welltower. And I just appreciate all the love and support. I just thought you guys would be excited because, that's what the show is all about here. We started this so it will branch out and expand into other areas of love. So that's exactly what it's doing.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that awesome?
If you need any help finding motivational videos,
I do.
I've got a whole bunch for you.
Okay, good. I've got a lot, but
they help me through the hard days.
okay,
definitely.
cool. Yeah, I would appreciate that. I'm definitely going to be the one that's taking care of this and heading this on, so I appreciate that.
Awesome.
But I thought you guys would be excited to hear that.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So they used to say when I did the Officer Candidate program with the Marine Corps, and they used to say, "Good moto, Roger." It's like, good motivation, Roger. Like, good moto.
Yeah.
Yeah, good moto Monday.
Exactly. Oh, I love.
When does it start? Oh, you can shorten it up. Go short.
We're actually having a meeting about it tomorrow, so I'm hoping to get it started this month, next month, whenever we can.
Good Moto Monday.
I
What's
know.
great about that, too, is how well it complements the show. Because
Yeah.
the show is in the evening, and you're, kicking the day off with Good Moto Monday.
And we're going to have a cup of Joe, too.
Oh, there's going to be some coffee.
Man, my mind was just blown.
I know. So I'm excited about it. I thought that was awesome. People at work are just being so supportive, and I know there's some people listening right now, so thank you. I appreciate that. So over the weekend, I was at the West Palm Beach Art Festival, which was awesome, by the way. I will be back next year. That was in City Place. And I met my sculpture soulmate there. She was a thin, blonde metal sculpture holding a giant glass of red wine and a purse I could never afford, so I was a little jealous.
Wow.
So that was awesome.
Man.
And the artist that made the sculpture actually stopped what he was doing, came over to me, and was like, "I gotta take a picture of you next to the sculpture. This is you." It's like, I can't tell the difference. So I did the motion she was doing, and I got a picture. So I'll post it on Facebook after the show. It's
Sweet.
actually pretty funny.
So we gotta wait for the surprise. I want to see the photo.
Oh, definitely.
Man,
It's
I'm
pretty
in
great.
suspense.
It's pretty great. It's awesome. But while I was there, I met some amazing people. One of the people that I met there, his name was Isaac, and he did some awesome brightly colored prints on aluminum. And I was really, really digging them, so I was talking to him some more. And one of the first questions, and we both kind of asked each other at the same time, is, "Where are you from?" And it kind of rang a bell in my head because the previous evening I had been sitting at E.R. Bradley's, and I met somebody sitting there at the bar, and one of the first questions he asked me is, "Where are you from?" And it just got me to thinking, I sat there and I talked to that guy on Friday night, and all of a sudden I'm finding everything about where he was from, which was Boston. I'm finding out when's the best time to go to Red Sox games, what I have to see the next time I'm there. Then I'm talking to Isaac at the festival, and he's telling me about where he's from in New York, and now he's got a house in Naples, he's got a house in Miami. And I started thinking, wow, so I'm from St. Louis. I've been here for about 2 years. And when I lived in St. Louis, one of the first questions we ask each other is, what high school are you from? Because it's such a small town, St. Louis, everyone's heard of each other's high school. Well, now I live here, and we're asking each other, where are you from? Because we're just meeting such a broader range of people every day down here. There's people from everywhere. So that got me to thinking, and I was really excited, first of all, because I moved down here not only to be in the warmer weather, but second of all, is I wanted that opportunity to meet that wider range of people. I've always been fascinated, with different backgrounds and traditions, and I like that I'm asking now, where are you from, instead of what high school you're from. That's awesome.
It's like a deep melting pot of humanity.
Exactly, right. I mean, there's people from everywhere down here, and it's really cool. And I like how many people that aren't from here that have purchased a home down here because they love it so much. I mean, it's awesome. So it got me to thinking about, what a great simple way we extend love to one another, just by asking that question. Now, whether you mean that genuinely or not, when you ask somebody about that, they're going to open up and tell you. And I'm so genuine about it, like I said, that I start hearing about when's the best time to go to baseball games, where they're from, and I mean, they really open up to me, and then, I tell them I'm from St. Louis, and they're, I've been to St. Louis, and this is what I did, and I mean, it's just awesome. I love those conversations, but it's so simple, and yet we are extending our love to one another by genuinely caring what our backgrounds are.
Yeah, and you're reaching in pretty deep with that question, because you're reaching into the roots of where they're from.
Yeah.
I mean, it's grounded in how, literally the air they breathe, the resources, the food they ate. I mean, it came from where they're from. And
traditions.
It brings so much to life. And it just goes to show the value of opening a conversation. Like how it's really not even the result of the conversation, like you're saying. It's really just the actual act of being bold enough to just ask the question and open the conversation. No matter what the result is.
Yep, exactly. So that got me really excited when I started thinking, where are you from? That's awesome. So
Donde está?
Donde está?
I don't know if that's actually right, but tried.
Yeah, but I'm just super grateful that living in South Florida has given me the opportunity to expand my love and compassion to a wider range of people, and now we're on this epic love journey together. And that's our goal, is extending love and compassion to people. So
absolutely. Well, and
I'm glad to be here.
Joe, you're from Vermont. We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
We're happy you're here.
I am too.
Sharing the stories, living the life.
Yeah.
Definitely glad.
You're from Vermont.
I am from Vermont. And yeah, there's a fun little thing that I like to do whenever season starts down here, is to count how many Vermont cars that I see down here. And this year so far, I have seen 8, and 2 of those were literally in the last 2 days. So I realized, okay, they're getting ready to go back because the weather's warming up, and my parents are telling me that, the snow's melting, and people are starting to show back up again. But
they had luggage on their car?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's got the luggage on the car, ready to go north for the summertime. But yeah, ever since I moved down here, just the vast wide array of people that I've been able to meet is really amazing, because I always relate back to food. Being a chef, I'm like, okay, well, what do you guys like to eat where you're from? Because it's really interesting to me, because I just love learning about new regional and different ethnic types of foods, and seeing how they're so different but so similar at the same time, because everybody looks for the differences in everybody, but there's way more similarities, in my opinion, than differences out there. And that comes through in food, especially. Definitely.
Food is essential.
Food is essential. You definitely need to eat it.
It's like a source. It's the source, man.
It's the source
it's one
of the energy.
It's one of the sources, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole you are what you eat.
really.
And you are
it's
what
true.
you drink, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why we drink tea, elixir, kombucha. Well, celebrate every sip. Cheers!
Cheers,
Hey.
guys.
Cheers.
Oh, nice. Well, it's about that time. Do you think? For
I
a
think
cup
it
of
is.
Joe?
Yeah, I definitely think it is. So yeah, this whole episode, I guess, what we're trying to talk about is love through action, celebrating life together with the people that you care about, and getting involved with the community of Piper's Angels and the Crossing for a Cure, and just everybody has been this amazing journey that I've been able to embark upon, and getting to interact with all of the people is really amazing, and I really, really enjoy doing it a lot.
Right on. Yeah, so I think we got a call in. I think Piper's on the line. Oh,
There she
hey! It's you! Who is it? Tell the world who it is.
It's Piper.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad we made that clear. How are you, sweetie?
Good.
Yeah? What are you doing? What are you up to?
We're on the way to cheer.
Okay. Well, so did you call in with a story to tell us?
Yes.
Very nice. Well,
Today's thing is going to be called the Penguin Proposal.
the penguin proposal. Okay.
I'm going to tell you how penguins propose.
All right.
Okay. So what they do is the male penguin goes and looks like around like wherever they live, and it makes sure to find the prettiest stone or rock thing, and then it brings it to its person that is its penguin that it loves, and it drops it at its feet. And then, if the girl penguin accepts it, then they get married. It kicks it back.
Oh, wow. That's pretty harsh. Where do penguins live, Piper?
Most of them live in Antarctica, I'm guessing.
Okay. I think that's a good guess.
So that's how they ask the girl penguin if they want to marry them.
I
They
see.
go over and find the prettiest stone in Antarctica, and then they drop it at its female penguin's feet. And if the female penguin wants to marry it, then it picks the stone up and it accepts the stone. But if it rejects it, then it kicks it away.
Aha.
Wow.
Wow.
Harsh.
Yeah. That's pretty incredible, though, that they're making the conscious effort to roll this stone over there. And what are they thinking the whole time? You know, like, man, I hope.
Well, they
I think.
actually take it up and carry it in their mouth, and then they drop it at it.
Oh.
I wonder if they're nervous while
Yeah.
they're carrying it over there. What's she gonna say?
Yeah, the
Is
proposal.
she gonna kick
They
this
got
in
a
my
touch
face,
on.
or
Man. Well, that's a really cool story, Piper. Thank you for calling in and sharing it. I love your animal stories.
That's a good love story.
That's a great love story for
epic
sure.
love in the form of a pebble?
Yeah. A stone. You know, it's funny how I think these adult humans kind of do the same thing. They go find a pretty shiny stone
They
and they're
do.
like, hey, yes or no? I'm pretty sure I just went through that.
Hopefully, we don't throw it at them though if they're
Yeah. Just kick it back in their face. Are you kidding me?
I think I've seen videos where that did happen, actually.
Well, thank you for calling in, Piper. Really appreciate it. I love you. All right. Well, I guess I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right. Bye, sweetie.
Bye, everyone who's listening on the radio show. Bye.
Bye, Piper.
Bye.
She's so cute.
Oh, she's so cute.
Oh, that was a good one. All right. Well, a
Yeah.
little dose of super cuteness right there in the Epic Love radio show.
Always room for cuteness.
Always.
Yeah. She kind of dove into the Cup of Joe there. She
Yeah,
she was
sorry.
a minute late on the.
That'll happen. That'll happen. But yeah, getting back to the Cup of Joe and getting back to the food topic and really trying to expand my world when it comes to food and how I even feed myself. I started on this crazy diet about a year ago, and it has revolutionized how I feel just with having cystic fibrosis. My lungs are clearer. I've lost a whole bunch of weight. My lung functions are much better. I'm much more capable of maintaining energy levels. And so I got to thinking about this, and I was like, how can I bring this to more people with CF? And luckily, because I've been thrust into this amazing group of people, Travis and I decided that we wanted to endeavor and create a new program underneath Piper's Angels. So I'm the newly minted director of nutrition for the Piper's Angels Foundation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Joe.
Yes, thank you very much. It's
That's
really,
awesome, Joe.
it's an honor and it's really awesome. So, over the next few months, I'm going to be developing a program for CF patients on a local basis to begin with, to come in, and we're going to work on their nutrition and how they feed themselves, because the impact that I've had on my life has been so inspirational that I want to share that with everybody else. And I'm not telling people they got to do my diet, because it's pretty crazy. But you got to, when you're eating something, you should really pay attention to how it makes you feel after you eat it. Like, there was a time where I was really experimenting with my food intake and being like, okay, so this morning I had pancakes and maple syrup for breakfast. How did I feel a couple of hours after that? And it's like, well, I felt really tired and I didn't have any energy. And I'm like, okay, well, my blood sugar tanked at that point and I was ready to ingest more carbs. So I just realized that, and now I've shifted my diet away from that, and I am able to sustain myself through the day and have an energy level throughout the day, which was a huge hindrance to how I was living beforehand, because I would have these massive spikes of energy and then a letdown right afterwards. And having sustained energy throughout the day, you get a lot more done than having massive spikes and pitfalls.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
Definitely.
Right on.
Yeah.
Man, I'm excited.
I'm super excited.
This is a new journey that begins,
Yes.
and there's a lot of people that we can help out there for sure.
So how are you going to go
Definitely.
about spreading your diet to everyone?
Well, it's going to be an individualized program in which you meet with a person on an individual basis, because human physiology, everybody reacts way differently to different foods. Like, some people are able to tolerate a lot more carbs than others, and some people are able to eat meat. Some people work way better without eating meat, just like Travis being vegan. You feel way better eating the way you do now, right?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Exactly. And you kind of got to be your own little food scientist with your own body. If you're feeling fine and you're doing well with whatever you're fueling your body with, I wouldn't suggest doing it. But if you're realizing that based upon what you're eating, you're not getting good output from it, and it's just like, you put good gas in your car, bad gas in your car, you're going to get either good or bad out of it. And that's the mentality of it. It's just whatever you put into your body is going to be your fuel, so you want it to be the maximum potency of fuel that you can get.
Yeah, and that whole, food is our medicine. Especially when it comes to the cystic fibrosis community, everybody should think this way. It's like, it blows me away when a woman gets pregnant, there's a diet. It is a very specific diet that they're supposed to stick to, eliminating fish that could contain heavy metals, definitely don't drink soda, things like that. It's like, it's really interesting that when we're given that list of like, okay, well, this is it, and of course, when you have somebody else's life on the line, literally in that case, you make that decision. You make a conscious decision and effort. Or when somebody gets a diagnosis, it's like, that's when oh man, he was diagnosed with cancer. That's when they start making a conscious choice about what they're eating. So, you know, in the CF community, I mean, you've gone through this whole experience and path on your own, and it's really incredible the wisdom and the experience that you have from developing it on your own and testing it and testing it and testing it and finding what works for you. And I think that, you know, it's like we were talking about earlier, opening that conversation. Not everybody understands what the plan is. They don't even necessarily know where the next step is. But if the next step isn't the ultimate result, it's not, hey, well, I need to do this because I need to quit doing this, or I need to, you know, get to this destination, but it's just that first step of opening the conversation. I mean, how many conversations could you open with people, you know, in the CF community and beyond, even here on this show, that might get them to wake up a little bit more to making a conscious choice about what they eat?
Yeah, exactly. It's all about that conscious choice. A lot of people, including myself for a long time, just kind of floated through life without asking myself difficult questions like, am I really eating healthy? Am I really getting enough sleep? Am I really, you know, happy with my job? Any of those questions. A lot of people just kind of drift through life and really don't ask those hard questions of themselves. And that's what I try to do on a daily basis now, is ask those hard questions of myself so that I can point and see the downfalls of whatever it is that I'm doing, so that I can improve, so that I can bring more wisdom and knowledge to myself, so that I can bring it to more people.
Just another drop of wisdom in the cup of Joe.
Exactly.
I was just, as soon as you said wisdom, I was like, oh man, I love that. I'm gonna put that on like a pillowcase for you or something. It's gonna
t-shirts
for your
t-shirts.
Yeah, just another drop of wisdom. Very nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it gets back to that self-love topic, right? I mean, and it's kind of tough to go anywhere else except starting from there all the time, because if we're not our own friend, if we're not our own guide, you know, and I mean, people externalize so much of the advice, or the, you know, they seek it out in the books, and even, you know, on a show like this, right? And why are people maybe attracted to what we're talking about? Because there's something in them that craves it, you know, but you have to follow that intuition, and I think that's really scary to people, you know, to actually be accountable for, you know, as if every decision is a conscious choice, not just the decisions when you're at work, because that's your job, so you have to be accountable, but like every other choice you make during the day, you know, or it's you know, it's interesting to me, people in that same realm, when they, you know, not just in food, but in spirituality and other areas of life, it's like they choose when they're in that certain place to then, that's their dose. But we carry that conscious choice with us everywhere. We're always on. It's like, you know, it's like being live on the air. Here we are, right? We're live on the air, but we're always live on the air.
Absolutely.
Everywhere we go, everything we do, somebody is listening. A kid is listening. Your neighbor's listening. You are listening to yourself, and it's crazy. We just got to be like live on the air all the time.
Put the headset on, walk around.
Yeah, put the headset on, just carry kombucha. Like, hey, I'm actually live. Hey guys,
Doing it live.
We're on Facebook Live. Are we like?
Oh yeah.
We're simulated, or are we actually alive on Facebook?
No, you're live. Live on Facebook.
So David actually just asked me what type of diet I went to, so I'll tell you. I went over to a ketogenic diet, which basically cuts down your carb intake drastically. And when I say drastically, I was eating at a time around 80 net carbs a day, which is basically nothing for carb intake. And that really, really worked for me. When I started this journey of self-improvement, I weighed about 229. I was pre-diabetic. I had a very high hemoglobin A1C, so they were constantly saying to me, like, oh, you got to watch out for CF-related diabetes. And they've been saying that for like the last 10 years. But it just took... It took a long time to figure out exactly what I was doing with this. It was a lot of experimentation. So I went down to 80 net carbs a day, and now as my body has adapted to this new diet, it's becoming less and less sensitive to more and more carb intake. So I've actually been able to raise the amount of carbs that I eat. up to like 200 net carbs a day, which is nice because I enjoy carbs.
Yeah,
Bread is good.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
About bread. We can talk about bread later.
Sorry.
are you saying if you put too much sugar in the cup of Joe, you might get diabetes?
I put stevia in my cup of Joe. Thank you very much.
That's a natural leaf extract, right?
Yes, it is exactly, and it is does not affect your blood glucose levels whatsoever. So that's why I drink that.
Very nice. Well, thank you for the drop in the cup of Joe and the wisdom that you have delivered to this show
You're very welcome.
and in the world and beyond. So I think we got another caller on the line. Let's see who it is. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Sue.
Boy, wow. I don't hear that every day, but thank you. I appreciate the formality. Is this Miss Plebe Sarah Sires?
Actually, you can just call me Midshipman Sarah Cyrus. Did get a little bit of a rank boost over the weekend.
All right.
Oh,
Congratulations.
nice. Very nice. Congratulations. What a way to start it off. That's awesome. Midshipman. I like it. So so for people out there listening, where are you a midshipman at?
Okay, so I'm a midshipman at the United States Merchant Marine Academy, which is a federal service academy in Kings Point, New York, on Long Island.
All right. And how long have you been there?
I'm in my 10th month of 9 to 10 months, something like that. So,
And how, like, what is the time period? So you go through, and when do you graduate or move on to the next level?
okay, so this is actually a full 4-year college. I'll leave here with a bachelor's degree, a commission in the military, and a Coast Guard license to sail anywhere in the world that I want to.
Wow, man, talk about it
That's
expanding
cool.
and opening the opportunities. That's incredible. Nice work you're doing.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And so when you graduate and you commission, that's as an officer. What will be your rank at that time?
Well, it depends on what branch of the military I go into. If I go into the Merchant Marines, then it'll be as a civilian. I'll be working as a third mate on a ship, working on my way to get to second mate and eventually captain. If I go into the Navy, then I'll go in as an O1, bottom level ensign, and work my way up eventually.
Wow. Okay. So what drove you initially to join this college and this program?
Well, I know it sounds very cliche, but I really wanted to make a difference and help people like my father did. He served in the Navy for 23 years. And I wanted to see the world. And this school is an amazing school that gave me the opportunity to do that for free. You know, I go here for 4 years, and then I serve for 6 years after I get out, and that'll be my service obligation.
Very nice. Wow. Yeah, my I have a similar background with my family. My grandfather was also in the Navy and served with the Merchant Marines in World War II, and their ship was actually sunk by a submarine, and they were out to sea for many days before they were rescued. And my grandfather never wanted to go back to the beach or the ocean after that again. It was obviously there's some moments in there that could be quite terrifying or scarier. I mean, so it's a brave thing you're doing, and pretty bold, just taking the step to make that kind of commitment and that conscious effort to make a difference in the world. And that's really why we're super excited that you called into the show. That's really the concept of the Epic Love Radio Show, or people going above and beyond. And so let's give everybody a little background on how and why you're calling in, how all this came together.
Okay, so I'm calling in to talk a little bit about a community service project that my school, that the academy is kind of taking a bit of a head on. Before I do that, I gotta say that everything I'm saying is my own, and I don't represent the federal government.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the lawyers told me I had to
None
say.
of us do.
Okay, I'm working with the Academy on a community service project to go to Little Neck Beach and clean up the beach. We've gotten pretty destroyed by some nor'easters coming through and dumping a lot of trash on it, and it's making it look pretty rough. So we're working with the Douglas Manor Association, which is a local association, and the Academy, as well as the man who's the inspiration and whose mother was the inspiration for this entire project, Mr. Tom. So he's an amazing man, and him and his mother are the inspiration and the brain behind this entire operation.
Yeah, absolutely. And for a lot of the listeners who are connected into the Piper's Angels Foundation community and the Crossing for a Cure community down here in South Florida, many know Tom Fusigna very well because he was the founder of the One Piece Plan. And I want to give a big shout out right now to Tom, if you're listening, for all the inspiration and the conscious awareness he's brought to our training and paddling out on the water. We're on the open ocean, and it's like it's amazing how just that little bit of awareness when you see something floating by or that piece, it's like creating some formal structure around, hey, even if it is just one piece, it's like opening that conversation. Just one step. And you get it, and it's something you can be proud of. And we've taken so many pictures holding our trash at the end of the paddles, and I really don't know. I mean, we picked up stuff here and there, but it was never something that we grabbed a hold of like we do now. And it's just that little conscious effort to create the plan, right? The One Piece Plan. And Tom sent in some information. I just want to read through it real quick about how it got started. And he said when he was about 9, his father. They participated in a community cleanup project. So I mean, like my daughter Piper's 10, right? So imagine that, you're 10 years old, 9 years old. They waded into the reeds in a saltwater marsh named Udall's Cove that opened up to Little Neck Bay, which is where this cleanup is happening, and connects to Long Island Sound in the Atlantic Ocean. They dragged a bunch of nasty stuff out of the cove that day, and in the big picture, it was just a small dent, but it was a movement in the right direction, and he hasn't stopped cleaning up since then. Through the years, he's seen many environmental groups struggle as they competed for everybody's limited supplies of time and energy and money. And he said he's seen a lot of preaching to the choir with limited new connections to people who did not already identify as environmentalists. Just like myself, right? I mean, I wouldn't probably say before this, I was environmentalist necessarily, but it opened my eyes to it. And he wanted to try something different, so he took the money and schedules out of the equation and tried to focus on a universal commonality. The need for clean water is the most basic human requirement, he writes here. Acting as a good steward of water resources should be a lifelong habit, but everybody needs to begin somewhere. The One Piece Plan encourages everyone to pick up one piece of debris every time we are in and or near a shoreline. That's it. An entry-level activity that anybody can do, but as anybody who is one-pieced knows, the stewardship never stops there. It just keeps getting better. Everyone does what they can when they can, and they inspire others to do likewise. Facebook was the simplest place to share this with people around the globe, and it has been absolutely wonderful to connect with like-minded folks who are already in action and meet new friends who have never really done anything like this before. The 49th annual Udall's Cove cleanup is scheduled for mid-April. The week before, Miss Sarah Sires will lead 200 of her classmates from the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point in cleaning up an adjoining mile-long stretch of the shoreline along Little Neck Bay. He said, my dad passed away in January of 2017, and my mom in February 2018. That's obviously very close together. The cadets have dedicated their incredible cooperative effort to the memory of my parents. I could not be more proud of them. The One Piece Plan is water people working together. Join us.
How cool
That was beautiful.
that was.
Yeah, I want to thank Tom for... What were you saying?
I think he's a phenomenal, just an inspirational man. I haven't gotten to meet him myself, as he's down in Florida near you guys, and we're quite a bit distance away, but he's been an inspiration every time I've talked to him over email or the phone. Just everything he said has really been driving me to make this project a success.
Absolutely. Well, and every step you're taking is leading it there, and it's amazing leadership on your part to be taking this initiative and making it happen. And this was a really hard situation for Tom, right? I mean, his dad just passed away, his mom just passed away, and here they've put together the inspiration for this really came from the eulogy, right, at his mom's funeral.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and so the ensuing conversation from Miss Veronica. Now, what's your relationship to Miss Veronica?
Actually, Miss Veronica is here sitting in on our call, so if you wanted to ask her.
Yeah, Miss Veronica, hello.
Hi, Travis.
Hi.
I'm very happy to be here. I really did want to keep the spotlight on the midshipmen and all the work they're doing, but it's kind of a long story how I got involved. I knew that that at the time, Cleve Sires was looking for a service project, and now she's a midshipman, and we're all excited about that.
Woo.
But my husband grew up with a Phi Sigma family, and I live in that neighborhood. And Tom got up and he spoke about his mother and just what an inspiration she was, and a woman of character, and how she inspired others. And the Phi Sigma family is known in this area for doing such good things, especially with Special Olympics and teaching young swimmers. And when I heard Tom talking about all the things that his mother instilled in her children and our neighbors, I said, this is somebody that our midshipmen really could inspire to be like. And the motto of the Academy is Acta non verba, which is deeds, not words, which really is pretty close to your own mission of inspirational stories of love through action. And it's one thing to want to make a difference, but you really have to get out there and show it. So I really just thought, knowing what Tom was about and knowing what the Cleve class, or the class of 2021, was up to, that it was really a perfect match. So Midshipman Sires is leading the way, and we're looking forward to it.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, it's really interesting, right? I mean, this idea of deeds, not words, and this episode, I think, and this story and this effort, I mean, this is all in honor of Alice Fusigna, Tom's mother, and his father. And so it just goes to show how much the legacy of these actions, we're talking about them and their story and their inspiration on this show, which is carrying forward to my daughter who's listening. And it just goes to show the value of not only making that choice, but opening the conversation, because you were there. And how did the conversation about this start with Tom?
Well, really, I was just so touched. I mean, I knew his mother and I knew his father, but not as well as my husband would growing up. He was in and out of that house as a child. But after the funeral, I said, I really just think the words that you shared were just something that anybody at a Federal Service Academy really should hear. We try to graduate leaders who are of exemplary character, and service is just a huge part of being at the Academy and what is expected of them when they leave the Academy. And I just said, Tom, would you mind me sharing this? And he's like, wow, I would love that. He didn't expect it. And then I said, I'm going to go back and talk to Midshipman Sires. And this whole thing just came together very quickly because we're people of action around here. And we recognize that in others. So it was just, as I said, it was just a perfect match.
Wow, yeah, that is a perfect match. So So thank you, Veronica, for sharing the backstory on that. Midshipman Sire, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the plan? Tell us how you're making this thing happen. You've got an army of 200 people going out to hit the beach. What now? Give us the rundown of the venue, the time, the setting. Paint the picture for us. Take us there with you.
All right. So we're going to start off here at the academy. We've chartered a couple of buses. We're going to load everybody up onto the buses.
What time are you loading up?
Probably around 2:00, 1400 military time.
Okay, got it. Very nice.
I knew that was going.
All right, so in the afternoon. This is on a weekend, or what day is it?
Actually, yeah, it's going to be this coming Saturday, April 14th.
Very nice. It's coming up.
Yeah, we had to move the date back. It was going to be approximately a week or two ago, but we had a very large snowstorm that decided to cover the beaches in ice and snow for a couple of days. So that we had to come up with an alternate date.
I see. That's very difficult for me to imagine, considering I was born and raised in South Florida, and I can't even imagine that there's snow even near the beach, let alone on the beach.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of it.
So how many buses does it take? Do you have 3, 4, 5 buses picking up everybody?
No, I just need 2, I think.
2 buses, and then you. How long does it take to get down to the location where you're going?
It's about 15 to 20 minutes away from the academy, so not too long actually. That's why we wanted to get, we have what we call TM vans, which are kind of smaller, 10-passenger vans that shuttle the midshipmen to locations. We didn't want to use those because it would have taken a lot of trips to get everyone there.
Yeah.
So that's why we went for buses. We can just kind of do it all in one shot.
Okay, and then so you hit the beach and you're going to be there. What's the time frame on actually cleaning up?
See, working around the time frame, the reason we have to do it in the afternoon is because we have to do it around the low tide. We can't, because more of the beach is exposed and more of the trash is able to be picked up during the low tide. So we have to, as soon as the tide starts moving out, we can begin work. And as soon as the tide starts moving back in again and the tide changes, we have to stop.
I see.
So,
Now,
it's going to be between 2 and 6 probably. We'll be all done for sure by 6, because then the tide will start to move in and it'll be no good anymore.
right. So I'm just curious, where do you think the source of the trash is coming from?
Well, if you kind of look at a map and kind of look at the way the currents come out of the city and into the sound, the Hudson River, I'm pretty sure, kind of dumps a lot of stuff coming out of New York City itself into the sound, and it makes the sound. Let's just say you wouldn't want to swim there,
Right.
but the currents carry a lot of that trash right into the bays. And the Little Neck Bay is kind of shaped a bit like a catcher's mitt, so it just kind of catches all that trash right there on that bay. So there's going to be 2 main work locations. One is kind of a field that loves to flood every once in a while and carry trash onto the field. And the other is going to be kind of I guess you could call it the thumb of the catcher's mitt, where we're going to be cleaning up.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so that's interesting because we have the same issue down here, right? We have these river systems, not real rivers, but they're more like canal systems that come down through the Kissimmee into Lake Okeechobee, and then they get pushed out. So anything in those ends up basically in the estuary or in the inlet or in the ocean. We have a saltwater program we do for people with cystic fibrosis called Salt Supply, and you can't take somebody in the ocean if the ocean's not clean. It's all connected here, and so the importance of it and making the conscious effort to try to prevent maybe where the source is coming from, right? Is so important as well. So you're going to put everything into trash bags?
Actually, Mr. Tom himself has supplied us with a couple hundred pairs of some nice quality gloves, and then worked with us to get rakes and trash bags, and even we worked with the city of New York to get us to get some dumpsters donated. So we're gonna have a couple of dumpsters in the community we can take all the trash to.
Very nice. Well, that's incredible. I'm thrilled that you were able to call in and join the show. And it's really exciting what you guys are. Are you going to take like a group photo after this event and post it somewhere where we can see it? Or I feel like we need somebody there doing like Facebook Live on the action of like it happening. You know, it'd be so cool to watch. You know, everybody coming together, or a photo. You know, when you guys are done. I mean, we'd love to share. You know, the story. We could post it on our Facebook page or put it out there. You know, I just. And share that inspiration and that leadership and what you guys are doing. I mean, there's no doubt, you know, the deeds not words motto and you know, being leaders of exemplary character is perfectly clear that you guys are taking that role and making that conscious choice to do that.
Is this community service project part of the curriculum at your academy in order to complete it?
No, not really. I mean, it is. They do encourage community service projects because, as we said, you know, we're all very leadership and service kind of structured, but it is more just kind of the culture of the academy. And you know, we try to do something probably every year. So this just happened to be something that sounded like a fantastic project that Miss Veronica brought to me, and I started talking to Mr. Tom, and after I knew it was possible, and after I spoke to my chain of command, and I knew that we could do this, it was just something that we really wanted to do.
And I just want to chime in. We will have photographers there, and we have a Facebook page. I mean, if anybody wants to see, we'll probably have a few hundred pictures in that album, but it's Kings Point Photography. But we will probably do a story, and I'll make sure we put it on your Facebook page.
That would be fantastic. Thank you for sharing. And Miss Veronica, Miss Sarah, thank you guys so much for sharing the inspiration, for being open to what Tom Fusigna has done with the inspiration from his parents and creating the One Piece plan and carrying that forward and calling into the Epic Love Radio Show.
Thank you so much for your time, sir, and we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing the photos.
Have a great night. Bye.
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 Thank you.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That
Really
is
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
that's pretty epic.
It's pretty epic.
Pretty epic.
So many layers of that.
Yeah.
You could unpack that one for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it started in Florida, then it went to New York, and now it's in New York, and I got a feeling it might branch out past that somehow.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting if you go to the One Piece Plan page on Facebook. You know, just that simple, like he said. You know, not making it so structured to be the environmentalist, right? Like if you can pick up that one piece, you're doing it. And there's so many people out there who are doing it. So pretty incredible. And we'll post that up on the Facebook page as well. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for today. What an incredible show. I feel like it gets better and better every time. You know, we're gelling better, we're having fun, and we're getting some really inspirational stories out there to keep this thing alive and share that with the world. So, the call to action this week is write a love letter about how you are expanding your love. And we'd love to share it and send it to epiclove@pipersangels.org or connect with us on Facebook or Instagram. So, man, it's getting better every time.
Sure is.
So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Once again, the Epic Love Radio Show broadcasting live out to the world. Vibes alive. Thank you for listening, everybody.
You're clear.
All right.
Well done.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know how it's good as time flies.